oh my God, she's turning into broccoli. Do you remember Garth Marenghi's Dark Place? Broccoli is green, and that is the colour of the background today. Well, it's not just the background, is it? It's also the colour of my face. So that's what brought that particular Garth Marenghi's Dark Place episode to my mind. But let's talk about the metamorphosis of humanity, the upcoming metamorphosis of mankind. Wow, that could be an incredible thing, right? So what is that? It's almost like an instant transformation, just like you imagine a caterpillar turning into a butterfly and flying off, markedly transformed, markedly changed by a biological event, which was actually orchestrated in mind, and that is precisely what's going to be the driver behind the transmutation, if you like, of humanity. So how are we actually going to expand in consciousness? How are we going to elevate our minds into the condition that is more conducive to a society that's built on true freedom, abundance, well-being for all? As Alberto Einstein said, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. So that's the reason I really want to talk to you about consciousness, because all I really care about is true freedom, sovereignty, autonomy, freedom from external control, the eradication of poverty and the amelioration of inequality, the removal of psychological slavery from society. So if we want to actually achieve that, we have to be the ones that do it, right? But we're only going to do that when we start raising in consciousness and actually start to care about these things. And true care is emanating from the Anahata chakra, the middle green ray chakra. Another reason why we've chosen green today as the background / foreground colour, because it's the awakened heart chakra that allows the kundalini to rise through the Ida and the Pingala nervous systems into the Ajna chakra, where you will see the light, so to speak. And that's really what we're talking about when we think about the metamorphosis of humanity. And all of this is orchestrated in mind. So I'll just quickly show you how you can undergo a metamorphosis into true Homo sapien. So sapien means sapiens, which means wisdom. But how many human beings could be said to possess sapiens? I would say not many, given this zombie apocalypse that's currently taking place on our planet. And of course this has all happened because the television has placed us in a kind of material trance, a consensus hypnosis of sorts, where we are not exercising our own innate mental faculties. Instead, the television, the radio, as soon as you turn these things on, the mind switches off and it's just now convergent thinking. We're being conned, right? Everything is just this influx of information just constantly going in. And there's little stimulation, right? There's little divergent thinking, which is more of a feminine polarity. So let's just talk about the architecture of the mind then, just real briefly, because it's comprised of a dualistic nature, which is what we think of as the yin and the yang, the electron, the proton, the positive, the negative, the king and the queen, the sun and the moon. The yin and the yang, did I already say that one? Radiation and gravitation, these polarized dualistic forces of reality itself. And in the religion we see these things depicted as, Horus, Isis, Osiris, the Mother, the Father, the Holy Spirit, Yeshua, Jesus, Mary Magdalene. So the feminine being the right brain hemisphere. That's what we think of when we see the creation of Adam by Michelangelo. We can see on the right-hand side that is a brain. And on the left-hand side is Adam down here going, whoa! He doesn't quite want to reach out, right? He's happy in his ignorance. So that state would be called the ahamkara, the ego run wild in society, and that is where we've been capped with the mortarboards from state Western education, and that's where we're living out our lives as these caterpillars who've yet to flourish and blossom into their true essence, which is Homo sapien. And sapience is born of philosophy, direct inward contemplation. As William Blake said, the truth can never be told so as to be understood and not be believed. So it's not something that you're going to see being instructed in a classroom, saying yes and no, yes, and all these quizzes and all of this pub quiz and this Q&A, right? All this data where people are being used as a USB stick. Just how much do you know, right? The know-all. It's got nothing to do with knowledge and everything to do with the way that we use our minds. So if we want to undergo this metamorphosis, spiritually awaken to a higher level of consciousness, that's far more conducive to our natural state, and balance, which is this green ray chakra, which if you're familiar with the Freemasonic first degree tracing board, you'll see in the middle is the woman with the key, because the green ray is the key, and we need to learn how to turn that key, because people can help you and provide you with that key, but they can't turn the door. It's like in the Madonna song, the "Ooh, if you could melt my heart," and it's "you are the key," right? You are the key. So you are the one that you've been waiting for in terms of attaining high levels of consciousness, and that's exactly why we see films like The Truman Show and The Matrix, where they make it perfectly clear that it's the protagonist. You are the protagonist. You are the true man. And so we just need to be left to our own devices. I mean, and really it's more conducive to the lifestyle of a hermit or someone who's a little bit introverted, or at least has time to themselves, daydreaming, meditative states. These are the people who often attain high levels of consciousness, and when you consider these Eastern mystics, they've just not had any education so much. A lot of them are kind of like country bumpkins who are illiterate, but they are out in nature, just staring, meditating, just looking at the grass all day. And in doing so, you can become that grass. You can zoom into that grass, and you imagine yourself being this H2O flowing through the stem and the structure of the leaves, and then it gets evaporated through transpiration out into the atmosphere, and then it goes up through the clouds, and then it condenses, and it comes back down as water, and then it rolls all the way down the rivers, and then perhaps a thirsty bear drinks the water, and now it goes in through the tongue of the bear, it's going through the body of the bear, and then the bear goes for a wee, and now it's back in, now it gets evaporated back, and it gets purified, all of this stimulation is what we think of as the yin. So this is the feminine polarity of the mind. This is what needs to be exercised. Pure imagination, inward visualization. And what does it say on the walls of the Oracle of Delphi? Heed these words, you who wish to probe the depths of nature. How do you expect to find within yourself that which you seek? Hidden within is the treasure of treasures. Know thyself, and thou shalt know the universe and the gods. It's a buy one, get one free situation on that, because you are the universe and you are the gods. So all we're really doing is awakening to a higher level of consciousness. And as Carl Jung said, he who looks outside dreams, he who looks within awakes. So it's got nothing to do with knowledge and everything to do with us going out at night perhaps, looking up into the night sky and beginning to contemplate the nature of our own existence. Where are we? What are we? How is it I can even see you right now? What is consciousness? And that is what we'll be going into in the next video. Or perhaps we can talk about it briefly now, because consciousness is everything. If we just get rid of these labels that no other species has in its repertoire of vocabulary. No other species knows that a wall is a wall, or thinks that the floor is the floor, or a tree is a tree. We've done that. And then we've done that because we've objectified everything around us. But actually, everything is a process. A tree is a process. A cat is a process. Even a bed is a process. We know that the point will come in time when that bed is perhaps burned or destroyed, and then the energy is transferred or transmuted into another state. So let's refer that back to the human being who wants to undergo some kind of alchemical transformation, or the metamorphosis, as we've called this video. So if we think of ourselves as ice, and I'm me right now, apparently I'm Adam, and I'm a man. But again, these are just ideas, it's all a process. This is skin. Skin is just an idea. Skin is just a word. But this is, again, the skin is a process. The heart is a process. Who's breathing you right now? How are your lungs contracting, expanding? How is your heart? Are you doing that? Are you doing all of these things? Are you growing your hair? Are you growing your nails? I don't think so. Nature is doing that. Consciousness is doing that. And there is a mechanistic nature to this consciousness, which is the masculine side of things. And that's what we've been focusing on our entire lives. And of course, that was a psyop to create a imbalance in the mind, draw us away from the sacred feminine, and prevent us from attaining high level of consciousness, which is actually what they attain in traditions like Freemasonry, Rosicrucianism, Kabbalah, Tarot. All of these tools that are here in our heritage were here for us to actually allow us to expand to higher planes of consciousness. And it's all sevenfold in nature. So everything that we see as physical, reality, all this light that we're perceiving is like a 0.000 forever 1 billionth of like a pinhead of the frequency of light that exists. And so when you're dreaming, somehow you're experiencing that light, right? But you're not, your eyes are closed. So how can you see that light? And it's because of our third eyes, and that third eye, when that third eye is illuminated and it comes online, then you'll start to see what I'm talking about, right? You will attain high levels of consciousness. You will be markedly changed by the experience, and you will be reborn. The alchemical wedding, the baptism of fire, right? And then the Egyptian hats had the snakes coming out. This was the Ida and the Pingala nerves, which surround the Sushumna, the breathing tube, if you like, of energy, which prana and chi flows. That was symbolic of them attaining these high levels of consciousness. And so only when we start to resonate with this sort of message and we start to expand our consciousness and see the holistic nature of reality. And, even Albert Einstein was talking about similar things, about how we need to expand in consciousness to embrace this non-dualistic nature of reality. Only then will we be inspired, truly inspired to actually resolve poverty and start to help other people, and to see that the best way to serve ourselves is to actually serve others. And we will see that we are all one living organism experiencing itself subjectively through a multitude of perspectives. So we want to expand in consciousness, not only to see through current affairs, but also to get rid of poverty, alleviate inequality, to remove psychological suffering. No more Monday blues, no more TGI Friday, no more rent, no more bills. There's no need for all this. As soon as we come together, we will see that we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the people, we are the power. We are the 99.9 recurring percent, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So, I thought I'd just make a video about consciousness. I mean, we'll make more videos about consciousness because, it's a pretty big topic, because that's all there basically is. So what we call spirit and matter, or mind and matter, are simply opposite conditions of the same thing, which is consciousness, which the brain is receiving. And next time we'll go into some of the experiments of Wilhelm Reich, who saw very clearly what's happening on the ocean floors with the geothermal vent shafts, because he recreated them in sterile environments with sand, iron filings, inert materials, by heating them up to white hot temperatures, cooling them down, and then what do we have in there? Spontaneous life forms emerge, because there is a blueprint, an underlying energetic blueprint to reality, and we can talk about that in future videos as well. Anyway, though, for now, I just thought I'd make a change by, talking about various other things instead of just talking about current affairs, what's currently going on, with all these bits and bobs. Hopefully, I can even put this on YouTube. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, yeah, that's it for now. I hope you have a ruddy, bloody nice day. I'm going to de-green myself now by turning this light off. And I will speak to you mega soon.